Saudi Arabia buying Hollywood. Let's see what this is about.
Some of the biggest...
Has anyone else noticed that recently, Saudi Arabia has been everywhere?
Some of the biggest names in comedy have been performing...
We're all Saudis, dude.
...at a very controversial festival in Saudi Arabia this past week, and they've been criticized by some for appearing to give legitimacy to a government with a very troubling human rights record.
Breaking news, Cristiano Ronaldo has signed for Saudi side Al Nassr. They have now confirmed it on their Twitter page.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the...
Woke imperialism, let's go, let's go, let's go. The Browns are gonna do it now. Wawa-wee-wah.
World Championships of Try Not to React.
Today, our two world finalists will face their greatest challenge yet, Riyadh season.
And here they come, Speed and KSI.
There seems to be a constant rotation of celebrities.
I heard that he's an ACP guy now. Did an NSR go full CP USA? I don't know. ACP and CPUSA. I don't know. Did he? Yeah, he is. Okay, I'm watching the video. I'm gonna judge the video on the video's sake.
News stories and controversies coming out of Saudi Arabia in the past couple months. And from what
Let's see. We'll watch the video. We'll see if we agree or disagree with the video. I don't know.
I've learned, it's not by coincidence.
When you know what Saudi Arabia is all about, it's weird to go to a comedy festival that is paid for by Saudi Arabia.
Dude, you willingly migrated to the United States of America. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Motherfucker fucking migrated to the U.S. Shut the fuck up. Fuck, you went to live in the U.S. Oh, God. Fuck you. What's the mean? Can't believe I'm fucking defending Saudi Arabia, but this guy fucking saying this. This guy moved to the... Dude, the fuck?
Arabia. You know what I mean?
It's literally the empire, my guy. The fuck?
A brand new theme park opens up in less than 24 hours.
Would you rather be Turkish or Arab? Arab. Did I respond quickly enough to this? Arab from Middle East, not North Africa. Thanks. Arab immediately, 1 million, billion, trillion %. Ask me if I'd rather be French or Turkish. French. Yeah.
Thing is the crazy.
My people kind of did this thing where for 500 years we fought the Turks and killed them, and they killed us and we killed them because we didn't want to be Turks. Kind of like half a millennia of us fighting that particular brand of imperial boot. So yeah, I really would not like to be Turkish. I mean, not quick enough. I sense hesitation. And also being Arab is kind of legit, dude. Like all my aunties would fucking hate me because I'd be like this hardcore haram guy. But then again, not all Arabs are Muslim, of course. But you know what I mean. If it's Arab Muslim, I'd be the cool cousin, right?
Biggest thing I've ever done. I can't wait for you guys to experience this. Make sure you get your tickets before they sell out.
Last night, workers for the company United CMAC in Riyadh filmed their living quarters on a mobile phone. 7 to a room for 2, sleeping on the floor. Some in this company and others at camps across the kingdom, unpaid for more than a year.
How was the comedy festival you guys went to? Was it good?
Riyadh?
Yeah.
Wild, dude. It was crazy. Well, the backlash on the internet was even more insane.
Everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys? So I thought. Aren't they exactly the 9/11 guys?
To many, this seems like an honest attempt at strengthening the tourism industry in Saudi Arabia, but it reveals something a bit more significant. A shift in power, a pendulum in motion, and a world that is changing faster than people can process.
What? History in the making. This is a signing that will not only inspire our club to achieve even greater success, but inspire our league, our nation, and future generations, boys and girls, to be the best version of themselves.
In December 2022, after returning to his early home of Manchester United, jumping from the...
What the fuck is that watch? What the fuck is that? That's his Omnitrix. Duh. That is literally the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. No, we gotta do a deep dive, okay? What was his name? Cristiano Ronaldo watch. No, not that one. The crazy one. The insane one. Oh my God. No fucking way, dude. No way. What the fuck is this, dude? Is it that one? No, this one's even crazier. I don't think it's that one. It's not even that one. No, it's not that one. Oh, this one. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm literally going to fucking... Where is it? I'm kind of becoming a watch guy to an extent. I don't have one. I'm going, oh my God. But I'm fascinated by the mechanisms, specifically the mechanisms. Oh my God. Frank Mueller versus Jacob & Co. CR7. One of the most famous and debated Cristiano Ronaldo watches is the magnificent timepiece. You are insane. Magnificent timepiece with diamonds and rubies that he wore during a press meeting in 2018. The unknown timepiece on the superstar's wrist. Unknown timepiece. Superstar's wrist was thought by many to be either a Jacob & Co. and Frank Mueller. The bracelet is kind of nice. The bracelet I can see happening. This is just filling the inside of the watch with small diamonds. That's all that it is. You just fill the whole thing with diamonds. There's no insignia or nothing. That's not creativity. That's barbarity. That is... Calling it tacky would be an understatement. God, that's so fucking disgusting. What is wrong with rich people?
To being on Cribs, the fulfillment of a lifelong dream of the last 6 or 7 years.
It was a big day for my homie Thugnificent being on Cribs and all. I love to see my niggas on TV shining, cause when they shine, I shine. Sorta.
God damn! Can somebody tell me what time it is?
What the fuck wrong with your watch?
Shit, nigga, the sun is deflecting all this ice. I can't see a motherfucking thing.
Man, get the fuck out
Nah,
of here.
for real, nigga, look.
Ah, shit.
Yo, you got your stutter shades, right? Yeah. Then put the motherfuckers on there, nigga.
Also, like, Muslims in the chat, prepared for me to throw some shade. Prepared for me to throw some shade. And you will agree. Like, you will agree. Muslims be like, Muslim men don't wear jewelry. And then whip this out.
What the fuck wrong with your watch?
Shit, nigga, the sun is deflecting all this ice. I can't see a motherfucking thing.
Man, get
But the watches and jewelry, yes. Awfully convenient loophole there. Awfully convenient little loophole right there, brother. Awfully convenient little loophole there, okay? Arguably the most expensive type of non-jewelry that you can wear on your body is not jewelry, bro. It's a wrist-sized loophole. So fucking true, right? Need a shiny, expensive thing to tell me the time, though. Yeah, timepieces to me are fascinating because they literally count how much you have left on planet Earth in this life, right? They show you the most valuable and eternal currency. We are all fighting to preserve to an extent, while also selling it on a daily basis. So that's why. So if somebody invests a little bit more in something that quite literally should, at least I believe, remind him every day that the clock is ticking, it's okay, right? Obviously, don't fucking overdo it because you're getting conned. You're literally getting conned. But it's an important item if we can put importance on commodities. In socialism, motherfucker, everybody will have access to watches with incredible complications. Super interesting complications and so on. And designs and aesthetics. Reminder that Ugopnik should buy a very expensive... I'm going to buy this watch, chat. I'm going to buy this watch. Okay? You need to subscribe right now so I buy this watch and that ring. Okay? This ring, not blingy enough. Okay? I need this watch and this ring. So if you want me to buy this watch and this ring right now, subscribe and pay your taxes. Help us get closer to Gamba. Help us get closer to our 3,000 goal. And I will thank you by showing up on stream with a $1 billion watch, okay? Jokes aside, it's Shilly time. Please consider subscribing. It's embarrassing that only one Westerner has paid their taxes today. Usually Sundays are our strongest days, but today everybody decided to stream, which is fucking obviously perfectly okay. But it's cutting into my bottom line, as they say. So, if there's any Westerners that have considered paying their taxes, now would be the moment. If there's any developing world chatters considering paying their taxes, now would be the moment. If there's any people with Prime, now would be the moment. And if there are any individual people that would like to subscribe for themselves, now would also be the moment. Especially because shit is 35% off, and that is a great deal if I've ever seen one. Thank you for your consideration. I appreciate you all.
The UK to Spain, Italy, and then...
You see how I'm nice? I'm not reading anything related to phase. I refuse to use the stick, okay? There you go. Some people appreciate it. Like Orain. Thank you very much, Orain, for your first 5 gifties. Does Orain have a sub? Somebody gift Orain a sub. Come on. See, Orain gifting you subs, but Orain doesn't have a sub. Absurd, right? You gotta share the love. It's the holiday season. Holiday season is.
Wonderful, a new child.
Are you a watch guy? I'm much more fuck with necklaces. I literally do not own a single watch, but I am considering getting one. My father wants to help me buy like a relatively nicer one.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
For my what do you call it? For a certain upcoming jubilee or whatever that's very private. So I might get something interesting or whatever. I think that most of the prices are absurd cons though, so I don't wanna do that. But yeah, I've never been a watch guy. But I'm but I was always I was never that interested in owning nice and fancy watches, but I also really liked nice and fancy watches. You know, look how you can like admire something from afar, right? Like, do I think that Rolls Royces are a degenerate display of wealth and power, exclusively limited for the consumption of by some of the most fucked up people on planet Earth? Yes. But do they also look cool as fuck? Yes. Right? The problem with every commodity, including so-called luxury commodities, is not the commodity itself. It is the fact that nobody has access to it. Okay? And the way it is produced, of course. So yes, luxury space gay communism. I want everybody rolling down the street in a Rolls Royce because that is the only way to actually defeat the idea that a particular commodity can be quote unquote a luxury commodity.
and back to the UK, all highly respected countries in the game of football. Cristiano Ronaldo signed a 2.5-year, $200 million contract with Al Nassr.
I unironically believe this. Like, something is more expensive because it's more scarcely available. Okay, we'll eliminate the scarcity from the equation, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Undo the fetishization by making the commodity available. Exactly, Klipnikov. Exactly, like your name. Exactly.
Football club in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Your reaction to this, Craig? I have to say, not a surprise, but...
Like, I don't think that Rolexes shouldn't exist. I just think that everybody should be able to have a Rolex. Standardize the production line. Educate professional watchmakers on a very large scale. Fill those factories and watch laboratories or whatever they call it, and make a bunch of Rolexes for everybody. It's going to be interesting because a lot of people are no longer going to want that Rolex because it will no longer be fetishized, which will then lead into a more organic consumption habit because only like watch people are going to be buying are going to be quote unquote acquiring, not buying in this case, that particular commodity. This is very basic. This is a basic Marxian understanding that I'm just applying to something that Marx didn't account for because he literally didn't, because Marx was born before marketing. Okay, sure, commodities were fetishized, and but it was usually a direct link between real scarcity and price, right? Like during his time, I believe, or a bit earlier, like pineapples were like $20,000 fucking dollars because how the fuck do you get a pineapple in Europe? Now there's pineapples everywhere, but with the invention of marketing and particularly branding, where a brand, just because it is a particular brand, is expensive, not because of the quality that it offers or how scarce it is. Through that invention, we have basically created another pathway towards fetishization that can be defeated by just removing the fake scarcity from the equation. You understand? They shouldn't cost $69,000 because they have Rolex inscribed in them. Exactly. They're probably not going to be called Rolex. But by making sure that they definitely won't be called Rolex. Brands will not exist under socialism. That's absurd. They will have designated names so that we can differentiate between buying I don't know, chocolate that is 1,000,000% organic or chocolate that is made with powdered milk, right? Those will be designators of the style and manner in which a particular consumable is created. And that will, really put a damper on unnecessary consumption, because a lot of the unnecessary consumption that we do today that causes obviously environmental damage, we do because society demands it of us. I have to buy this fucking fancy thing because everybody will now think that I'm successful and I will feel better about it. We buy a lot of these things to signal a certain level of financial success so that we can hopefully ride the wave up this disgusting hierarchy. But once that hierarchy is either limited or even fully destroyed, there will be no need for us to treat items as such a important and to repeat myself, over fetishized manner of self-expression. Brands will still live under socialism. Those brands just won't have a say in government anymore. Yes, if you're calling brand the thing that's written on it, sure. That's why I call them designators, because brand means something different. A brand is the carrier of the price in most items nowadays. That's what allows something to be more expensive or cheaper. The identical pair of socks, one of them has Loro Piana written on one and the other one doesn't. The one without Loro Piana costs $3. The one with Loro Piana costs $120. That unironically implies that, of course, probably labor cost and other production costs and shit for the Loro Piana are a bit higher, maybe. But at the end of the day, the price difference of $117 between the two is on the brand. Yeah, Stevenson and Sons is a great name, and you can have that name, of course. Designators. I'm just trying to give you, like, for you to understand the difference. Brand means something very different. The brand itself is a contributor to the perceived value of the commodity in the market. It is an integral part of it. You have buttons on this thing. You have materials. You have the internal lining, external lining, the paint that was used for it, the sizing, the blah, 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 the labor that went into blah, 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 linen. But also you have the brand. This one is not branded, but you get my point. And the brand is more important and carries a higher degree of value in capitalism. Look at the irrationality of it all. Than all the materials used on it. Than all the labor used in producing this. The brand, the name, carries more. This, unironically, I don't believe, at least I cannot remember, was not accounted for by our friend Marx because it was, too insane to imagine. Literally too insane to imagine that such a thing would exist. But we've fully internalized it through the private sector's propaganda arm, also known as advertising. The same factory in China can make the same exact products, but Gucci being printed onto one of them 10x's the value. Exactly. The brand names could probably be kept around, not as brand names, but as an identifier for specific form factors of things and to highlight related compatibility. Commodore 64 enthusiasts and their ecosystem of devices comes to mind, but this could be applied anywhere. No, yes, you're correct. You're correct. We'll call them designators or names. I just have a particular beef with calling them a brand because it's different. It's like calling them based on the material that is used to create them. In Polish People's Republic, there were cool car brands like Passenger Car Factory, Farm Car Factory, and Small Car Factory. Yeah, it will be very difficult to. This will be so difficult, dude. This will be so fucking difficult to de-fetishize commodities for the masses. But we have to allow for that process to happen organically by removing scarcity. That's the only way. That's respectfully the only way. Sure, there should be widespread propaganda that helps educate people on why they shouldn't fetishize commodities. But the real way how we're going to defeat said hyper obsession with just consuming things and consuming fancier things than your neighbor is by making sure that nobody lacks in anything that they might want. So yes, there should have been more genes in the Soviet Union. And the People's Republic of China is an exact example of that. Dude, like, you cannot give the reactionaries anything to grab onto when it comes to the criticism of your particular system. And China's not letting them grab onto anything. Because they were like, the capitalist West has gadgets and treats for everyone. Well, we're going to have more gadgets and treats for everyone. Of course, in fully developed socialism, that will be a little bit more complicated. but it's not going to be as complicated as it was for the Soviets back in the day. Because of what? Because we have a much better system of delegating what certain industries are supposed to be doing and running the economy from from the center, because we have the tech for it now, and we also have absurdly larger production capabilities than a fucking peasant society trying to industrialize. And the Soviet Union, TLDR, for those of you who do not know, the reason there was not a lot of cool shit, quote unquote, for individuals to consume to the same level of the West, I guess. There wasn't as many treats, is because the country had to unironically concentrate on fighting a world war, rebuilding after the First World War, and a civil war, or a revolution as we call it, and then rapidly industrializing because it was a literal fucking peasant society. Okay. So, you needed brick, and you needed beton, and you needed gun much more than you needed fancy jewelry or gadgets. If everyone had a Lamborghini and every expensive shit imaginable, the planet would just get rid of us unless we invent something that might help us get rid of that. That is a contradiction, bro. What's the difference between a Lamborghini and a Skoda, the brand? What's the difference between a Lamborghini and a Skoda, the brand? What's the difference between a Lamborghini and a Skoda, the brand? Let me repeat that one more time. What's the difference between a Lamborghini and the Skoda, the brand? Let's say in Warsaw there is 1 million cars. Does it matter for the environment whether it is 1 million Skodas or 1 million Lamborghinis? No, it does not. Okay? The reason why people get shittier commodities delegated to them in capitalism is, come on, say it with me, Lamborghini is less functional and makes no sense. Follow through on the allegory, bro. Jesus fucking Christ. Literal Andes in here, very much so, my friend. Do you understand what I am saying here? The same number of things will still be in circulation, but the accessibility of quote-unquote higher quality things will be higher. You understand? That is the intention. Socialism is not poverty. And ironically, having higher access to so-called superior goods will slowly defetishize them, because it will not be a tool used to differentiate yourself from fellow man on a class basis. Da-dum-dum-da-dum. Okay? Also, I like Skodas. I don't know why I use Skodas. Skodas are kind of chill. I like Skoda. The reason every car doesn't have every single gizmo is because they want to charge you premium for those fucking gizmos. That's a premium that's much higher than the cost of installing those in your car. I think you addressed it before, but was the Yugo car actually bad, or was it propaganda? Cars in all socialist states were fucking shit, but they ran forever. That's it. And yes, Yugos were shit. I learned how to drive in a Yugo. It's fucking horrendous. But it's fun, you know? You have to fight it. You literally have to beat the shit out of it so that it goes. Yes, we would get rid of planned obsolescence as well. Unlimited access to items that were previously defined as quote-unquote luxurious will remove the concept of luxury from society. To attempt to destroy the concept of luxury in any other manner will feed reactionary sentiment and hurt the system. I'm dying on this hill. I am dying on this hill because I've had 1 million conversations with 1 million people that lived under socialism, quote unquote. And all of their fucking gripes, all of them, they will all say that it was fucking great. Not all of them, but like 80% will say that it's great. And then you would ask them, yo, but what was not great? And he was like, I get a smuggled in fucking magazine and I go through it and look at like from the West and I look at the type of shit that the Westerners have. And then I look at my shit and I'm like, what the fuck? You're telling me that I live a very privileged life, a great life, And he's like, and now I understand that I did. Like I have a home and the people in the American magazine that I'm looking at maybe don't. Not everyone in America can afford that thing I'm looking at in the magazine, but I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it with my socialist brain, thinking that, if something is available, it's available for everyone. So I immediately compared the quality of the shit I put on my body, the quality of my radio system, of my VHS system, of my TV system, of my car. I compare it to the quality of that in the West, and reactionary sentiments in me start to bubble up. Okay? And that was unironically one of the strongest tools at the disposal of reactionary forces, both domestic and foreign, when it came to destabilizing previous socialist experiments. Okay? So the only way we combat this is, to repeat myself, by removing luxury as a concept from people's minds, by making sure that their demands for a diversity of products to quote-unquote consume is in an environmentally sustainable manner reached. My argument on why it can be reached is because right now there's just too much shit in circulation because it is inefficient. There will be less shit in circulation because there will be lower commodity fetishism spawned from wider availability, not when it comes to numbers of items, but when it comes to who gets to purchase them, / own them, / interact with them. How many Trumps would it take to beat Tito in a fist fight? Probably like 4. Maybe even 5. I think you could beat the shit out of 5 Trumps for sure. Or a slow erosion of classes will make the inequality necessary for those consumptions outdated. Yes, absolutely. Like you are unironically doing commodity fetishization by identifying, by ascribing higher or lower moral values to luxury commodity versus cheap commodity, as it is defined in the capitalist system. Like you're doing the same thing that you're making fun of people that buy luxurious shit of doing. Right? It's a great conversation because maybe we can all learn something. Maybe not something most of you have thought of. SUV and fast fashion production is at an all-time global high, yet majority of the poor still don't have access to food or water. Exactamundo. Exactamundo. Utility value is where it's at. Utility value is where it's at. How do we make people understand that utility is where it's at? By getting them unironically bored of purchasing something just because it's quote-unquote fancier. They organically come to that conclusion. When there is nothing driving you, when there is no massive private sector propaganda machine driving you towards identifying yourself with a product, people will start organically moving towards using products that are not going to be called products, of course, more for their utility than anything else.
Business.
Think that Ronaldo secretly has a monobrow? Not secretly. I think everybody knows about his monobrow. Oh, yo, thank you, Anon. Thank you very much, Anon. Thank you. Okay. Hope you learned something. Let's go back to the video. Finally, a fucking interesting conversation. I love interesting conversations, for fuck's sakes. It's not just, ooh, look at what Trump did. Ooh, covered the news. Ooh. Capitalism this, capitalism there.
Hugely disappointing.
Thank you, Anon. Xi Jinping, thank you very much.
I think everything he's done recently.
I glazed China's acceptance that you need to have, that everybody needs to have treats in order to devalue one's relationship to treats. And Xi Jinping immediately came in and dropped all of this on my head.
It's been hugely disappointing.
Although it's typical for veterans of the sport to play in smaller markets at the latter end of their career, this was a weird decision. Typically, those smaller markets are in the United States, like David Beckham and others playing in Los Angeles, or Messi currently playing for Miami.
So yeah, good luck to him. He can go there and pocket as much cash as he wants, but ultimately he wanted Champions League and he's got football obscurity. Come on, nobody is going to bat an eyelid whether they play and he plays 4 times a week.
Yeah.
He scores a hat-trick in every game.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
Yeah,
Nobody is going to even bat an eyelid about it. And I thought all this time what he wanted was to finish and be in the limelight.
Yeah.
And he's completely gone in the opposite direction.
Craig's right, isn't he?
This was a story that really stuck out to people and made clear a turning point, a sign that Saudi Arabia was really up to something. And this time, it had nothing to do with New York City.
What is that? Oh no!
Let's get into Riyadh. People want to hear about Riyadh.
That was the night before Riyadh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
now that's controversial.
So I'm just gonna paint the whole Riyadh picture. Let everybody know what they're trashing, what they're on, what they're talking about.
Yeah, I've talked to Louis and Santino, and they made it sound like this was the greatest night of their lives.
I know nobody wants to hear it, but I'm just gonna give you the whole what for.
Give it to me.
On July 23rd, 2025, an event was announced to the world, hosted by the Saudi royal family, the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
But no, what I've heard, dude, is that Riyadh festival is that they're like, there's a lot of people that say people are getting paid by this Middle Eastern money.
Right.
And that they can say this or they can't say that, or that they're over there, they're going to try to influence you guys in order to speak certain ways. Are you part of that conspiracy theory, or is that nothing you're on?
I've heard there's subreddits of I think all these people are in bed with that. I just, I get the routing and I see the number and I go, I'll go.
Okay.
This festival is one of those events that's meant for one thing, but does the complete opposite. In this case, shining a light on the brutality and corruption of the Saudi royal family.
So Saudis, but they have slaves, and they're not sound to women either, and they kind of chopped up an old journalist there, Khashoggi, and yeah, overall, as an establishment and a government, bad eggs. It's safe to say. Now,
the people who listen to this in the Spotify studio right now are probably staring their hair out at present, I would say.
Well, do you know what? They can fuck off, because This isn't Saudi Arabia, and we're allowed to speak our minds.
Why I think it's interesting from a broad like question of culture is how much can money buy in terms of your ability to say what you want? Because the thing is I think if you would put some of these people together, many would be, I think, quite critical of the Saudi government. Now, the Saudi government realizes that, which is why, a literal kingdom monarchy is holding a, quote, comedy festival to try and whitewash their image, just like they do with Live Golf and all that. Some people in America are like, hey, who cares? I'm like, well, 9/11, but whatever. Guess we're gonna move past that.
And in my opinion, I'm just glad attention is being drawn to the crimes of the US-backed Saudi regime. This is a government that created the largest cholera outbreak in history by bombing all of Yemen's water sanitation facilities. And they've been known to unalive journalists who don't push their preferred narratives, most recently and famously Jamal Khashoggi.
But he called me and he said, they heard what you said about them having slaves. I said, I was defending them for having slaves. I literally said, slaves are probably hard workers and for the most part, agreeable.
Most intelligent comedians still rising in their careers stayed as far away from this thing as they could. Shane Gillis, for example, was invited to this festival and would have likely been one of the biggest, if not the biggest comedian on the stage that night. But rather than accepting the invite and tarnishing the cult following he has in the United States, he called out Saudi Arabia and really just stated the obvious.
It was, it's funny, they just went to the desert and just fucking They were
vibed
asking
out.
me to go to the Middle East soon.
What?
Where? Why? Saudi Arabia and UAE or Dubai.
Dubai?
I think I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops. It's for the Saudis.
For the.
That is so fucking funny. Oh Lord, that was so good. You know exactly what I'm going to say. Oh my God. I think I jizzed a little bit. I'm sorry. That was so good. Dude, it's okay. It's okay for you to perform for your imperial troops, for the literal fucking stormtroopers that are deployed in foreign countries, helping occupy them. That's like, it's chill for you to go and perform for the troops. But to go and perform for authoritarian states, it's kind of a no-no. It's kind of a tabooby. Our murderers are broad, very based. They're leaders of murderers in sovereign foreign countries, not so based. Okay. Obviously, I'm not running defense of Saudi Arabia right now, but come on, the cognitive dissonance of this is wild.
UAE or Dubai.
Dubai?
I think I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops. It's for the Saudis.
For the Saudi princes?
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys?
So I thought.
Aren't they exactly?
Yeah. So were the American troops, bro, that you mentioned earlier. This Yankoid fucking brain cancer, dude. Oh, there's more tumors in that fucking...
Exactly the 9/11 guys?
Other comedians like Andrew Santino were defensive of their participation, claiming that Saudi Arabia is becoming a more progressive country. Sure, in the same way that making a prison wheelchair accessible is progressive.
How was the comedy festival you guys went to? Was it good?
In Riyadh?
Yeah.
Wild, dude. It was crazy. Well, the backlash on the internet was even more insane. It was insane.
That stuff seemed ridiculous to me, though.
Well, dude,
did you feel like it was?
Everyone is a walking contradiction, and there's a million miles of hypocrisy in people's arguments. And the fact that the community was attacking each other was very strange to me. Jimmy Carr said something that I thought was kind of a powerful statement. I don't always tend to look at where a country has been, because they're all flawed, but I'd like to see where they're going. And he says, I'd like to think that where they're going is an attempt at progress and future and growth.
The full list of comedians at this thing is pretty crazy and shows just how much money is still locked up in Saudi Arabia. You have people like Aziz Ansari, Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, Louis C.K. Not the brightest bulbs on the shelf, but expensive nonetheless. The name that I was really surprised to see was Bill Burr. Because Bill Burr, you know, he gets this label from time to time from people like Hassan, you know, the based label. And this doesn't exactly line up with some of his older statements and jokes. This seems like the kind of event he would have called out 5 years ago.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make, you know? You're gonna take a gig where you're gonna go dance like a goddamn fucking...
Like a clown, but you guys are literal fucking clowns, with all due respect to all stand-up comedians. You are court jesters of the masses.
Clown.
These guys just went a bit more old school, and they went to be court jesters for the literal king.
For a mass murderer's kids? And then you take that fucking blood money. And what he's done, you couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
The internet, the inner web of lies.
Everybody's a hypocrite.
I'm still thinking about that bullshit from a few weeks ago. That was a fucking, what a bunch of fucking, oh, that was one of the hardest things ever, to keep my mouth shut and just not trash every one of those fucking cunts. Oh, am I looking forward to running into a few people.
And then, on November 13th of this year...
Proceeds to perform for the Obama daughters. Yeah. This is all like crazy fucking schizo-posting, in my modest opinion. Looking at it from the sidelines as a non-American, non-Saudi, non-fucking clown for the masses or whatever the fuck. It's just wow.
The one and only.
It's like there's everybody involved is a hypocrite. There's like zero like correct takes here because there's no correct take.
Jimmy Mr. Beast Donaldson, yes, Jimmy Beast himself, announced the opening of a brand new, never-before-seen amusement park where you, yes you, can participate in all your favorite...
Saudi Arabia should be wiped off the map just for this reason, and this reason only. Fucking Mr. Oh my god, they gave him land to make a Mr. Beast amusement park. This place will be empty and decrepit in like a year. They will use it as like a dumping spot for old EVs.
Dangerous challenges featured in Mr. Beast's YouTube videos. And where is this theme park? You guessed it, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
You're a clown for the masses sometimes. I 100% am. What the fuck? I don't pretend I'm not.
This is the story of my day at the opening of Beastland and how this was one of the best days of my entire life.
And no, Mr. Beast is not doing this for the money. He specifically chose Saudi Arabia because it's central to all his fans. What a nice guy! Beastland is described as a first-of-its-kind Mr. Beast destination, where adventure, competition, and entertainment collide across two zones, Beastland and Beast Arena. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. I see now. Beastland, Beast Arena, the collision of two zones. I love it. The partnership between Mr. Beast and Saudi Arabia was really the nail in the coffin for people. Like, what the hell is going on?
There's no opening bid. Mr. Beast opened a fair in Saudi Arabia.
So Mr. Beast is in every line of business you could possibly be in, and he chose Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to make Beastland.
I mean, Mr. Beast at least showed up to the opening of this temporary amusement park, but even he doesn't seem to want to be there.
It's crazy. I didn't expect this many people to show up to the theme park.
Those teeth are freaking me the fuck out, bro. Why are people getting more advanced with their imperialism? What do you mean, though? This is Saudi Arabia. These are brown imperialists. Imperialism is getting more advanced with its imperialism. It's diversifying. Fucking DEI imperialism dropped.
If it wasn't already clear, it isn't just some big coincidence that these big events with big names attached are
just business. Yeah, absolutely. For Mr. Beast, he doesn't give a fuck. It is just business. They reached out. We're gonna give you a bunch of land. We're gonna give you a bunch of money. Make this thing. Okay, let's make this thing. Whatever. Okay.
Taking place in Saudi Arabia. In fact, it's really no surprise at all. You see, these two events, the comedy festival and the theme park, were both put on as a part of Riyadh season.
Mr. Beast about to colonize Venezuela himself and personally join OPEC. Yeah.
A self-described global entertainment destination transforming
Future
Riyadh into the world's capital of entertainment through thousands of entertainment events. We'll see about that. And to announce this year's festival, they released this bizarre ad featuring IShowSpeed, which was pretty weird to see after he was unabashed about his support for Palestine over the past few years, a country that stands in stark contrast to the Saudi government, who's allied with Israel to basically control and bully the entire Arab world. So it turns out that Riyadh season is just a component of this sort of expansive strategy to increase tourism and cultural power in Saudi Arabia. A sad attempt to improve their global image. According to their website, Vision 2030 is a blueprint that is diversifying the economy, empowering citizens.
The saddest part is that it's not working at all. It's just putting a greater and greater spotlight on Saudi Arabia. Now everybody is talking about it, sure, in a relatively hypocritical manner. But the fact that they are hypocrites talking about Saudi Arabia from America does not undermine the fact that Saudi Arabia is a pretty fucked up state, right? So it's completely, it's like pissing down the wind. I don't understand it. I don't see how they could not guess that this was going to happen. I genuinely don't see how.
Creating a vibrant environment for both local and international investors and establishing some...
I don't know, average person doesn't care. Maybe I always agree with you, but maybe agree to disagree. Neither of us will know. Because Saudi Arabia is kind of like in everybody's brains as like, the evil, no woman drive car, journalist killer country. Like, Saudi Arabia is pretty famous. Like, I think most Americans know about Saudi Arabia and their association when they think about Saudi Arabia, is usually negative. Sometimes for all the wrong reasons, Islamophobia. But people do think about it. That's what I mean. People do think about Saudi Arabia. In order to work for him, you have to live in the Mr. Beast village, a neighborhood where he bought all the houses. Yeah, I know. It's a cult, dude. Bad publicity, still publicity? Yes, maybe. They're trying to copy the UAE effect, but even the UAE is losing popularity in the West. Oh, yeah. Big time. But the UAE that did not have the baggage of Saudi Arabia, right? Not even close. It's much easier for the UAE to do it. And the UAE is pivoting to something different. The UAE is playing a smarter game. The UAE basically wants to be the new Switzerland with even less regulations or rules than Switzerland, right? Switzerland still is neutral, but still abides to the Western Hemisphere. Dubai wants to tell basically the whole world we do not abide to the Western Hemisphere or the Eastern Hemisphere. If you want to do dirty business, you do dirty business through us, right? It wants to be that kind of center. While Saudi Arabia, for some vain reason, wants to be more of like this tourist cash cow or something.
Saudi Arabia as a global leader. So what does this tell us about the trajectory of Saudi Arabia? Because when you see these sorts of changes in a country, you have to ask yourself why. Because everything is a reaction to something. Now, as you're probably well aware at this point, Saudi Arabia has a lot of money, or more specifically, the Saudi royal family. Situated on the Arabian Peninsula with its neighbors Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Yemen, the UAE, and Oman, Saudi Arabia really has only one thing going for them: oil. Since about the end of World War II, but really ramping up in the 70s, Saudi Arabia was supplying the world with boatloads of oil, and America wanted in. They eventually struck up an agreement, and the rest was history. Saudi Arabia would go on to be a client state of the US, suppressing pan-Arab movements and bolstering America's control of the region. That was very simplified, but I'll expand on it in just a second. Now, when it comes to this big idea of Vision 2030, a lot of articles online point to the oil crash of 2015.
The recent 20% drop in crude oil prices might be saving you money at the gas pump, but it's now prompting job layoffs by U.S. energy companies. Joining me now via Skype from Houston is Lynn Cook of the Wall Street Journal. So how bad is it for the energy industry?
It's pretty bad.
The price of US oil has fallen below the symbolic threshold of $50 a barrel for the first time since April 2009. Benchmark Brent crude also tumbled about 6% to below $53 a barrel.
Well, oil prices have been very volatile. We've seen them reach almost $62 per barrel for WTI, which is higher than our projections in the lower $50 per barrel range. But with very little spare production capacity worldwide, we believe that oil prices will remain volatile going for the foreseeable future going forward.
How many people are we talking about when it comes to layoffs?
Well, the estimates I've seen have been about 150,000 people laid off so far. And those have been typically blue-collar type workers.
In 2015, the United States massively increased its oil production thanks to efficiencies in a form of drilling.
You have your fracking.
A method that cracks open deep layers of rock to release oil that was once unreachable. Fracking itself isn't new, but the modern technology that's been able to pull huge amounts of oil from shale rock, a previously unreachable crop, is new. And this sudden breakthrough unlocked huge new supplies of American oil. That surge flooded the global market at the exact moment demand was slowing, and the result was a historic collapse in oil prices. And what country was hit hardest by that drop in price? Saudi Arabia. And only 2 years later, Mohammed bin Salman takes power as Prince of Saudi Arabia and declares 2015 was the year of the quick fix, 2016 is the year of the more organized quick fix, and 2017 is the year the vision will begin.
Localization and industrialization have been key recurring themes in the Vision 2030, starting from the goal of transforming Aramco from an oil-producing company into a global industrial conglomerate, to the push for localizing military, renewable energy, and industrial equipment sectors.
This purely economic analysis gets you far, but it doesn't truly paint the full picture. In an era where the entire globe is commercially linked through stock trading and banking, you have to factor in geopolitical relationships.
It's a great fucking video.
Between entire nations. Because really, this isn't an oil problem at all. Sure, the oil prices plummeted and the Saudis had to find a way out, but it says much less about the power of oil than it does about the power of the United States. In all my research, there was really only one underlying explanation for all of this. One overarching reason as to why Saudi Arabia is diversifying their industry, moving beyond oil and beyond their oil deal with the United States. The rise of China. You see, Saudi Arabia is kind of in a tough place right now on the global stage. They're involved in BRICS, a movement to build power away from the United States, yet they still...
The editing is like literally 10 out of 10.
...act as an American watchdog in the Middle East. They trade significantly more with China than the US, yet they still rely on American weapons to squash progressive revolutions in the Middle East. To put it simply, Saudi Arabia is required to balance its preference for a US-focused security relationship with its more Eastern-facing economic links. I've done a pretty poor job explaining the history of Saudi Arabia up until this point, but their current state of limbo makes a lot more sense when you realize they've always been like this, or at least since about 1967. In 1967, European terrorists occupying parts of Palestine continued their mission to occupy all of Greater Israel. In a brief six-day offensive, now dubbed the Six-Day War, these Europeans took control of the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights, and even the West Bank, destroying anyone and anything impeding their mission.
What will happen if, by any chance, by later agreement, you have to move out? Never. You're not going to move out.
No, I was born here.
I think it's one of the greatest things we've ever done. 1 minute, come on.
I was born 5 minutes from here, from the old city, and this was my dream for 20 years to see this place. And I think we will not give it back. Never.
Was one of the reasons that you came here was that you fought for this wall, was it?
That's right. Yes. We fought and we lost
We think
best
about
of our boys
that
here.
so long time. We think about this war is a long time.
2,000 years we are
Yes,
dreaming for
that.
this. This is our dream.
This was a major blow to the Arab states, so they began planning. In October of 1973, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel to reclaim the land Israel seized during the war in 1967.
It is an all-out war. That's how Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Dayan describes an invasion of the Golan Heights and the east bank of the Suez by Syria and Egypt. The surprise attacks came early this morning in the air and on the ground. This is the most serious fighting in the area since the Six-Day War of 1967.
It's called the Yom Kippur War, and real gains were made against Israel. That was until the United States got involved. Funneling in tanks, jets, ammunition, it was soon clear that it was the United States fighting the Arab world and not Israel. And Saudi Arabia took note of this. Only 3 days after threatening oil embargoes on any nation funding Israel in this war, the King of Saudi Arabia declared a complete oil embargo on the United States.
The Middle East war produced developments all over the world today.
This part's important. I mean, I know about it. If you don't know about it, you're about to... It's about to get really interesting, but it's also about to become cliche because you know exactly where this is going. Some of you that don't know about this particular piece of history will still not be surprised on where it goes.
The oil-producing countries of the Arab world decided to use their oil as a political weapon. They will reduce oil production by 5% a month until the Israelis withdraw from occupied territories. If the Arab countries keep that pledge, it would reduce their production by almost 50% in 1 year.
What happens to a person who lives out here and needs gas on the weekends? Well, I've told all of my regular customers to be sure and get their gas by Friday at the latest, and then they'd have it for the weekend. But the question still arises: what happens if you don't get it and you've got to run to the store or the hospital or into New York? What happened? I wouldn't know what they do.
Oil prices went up 400%. People had to wait in line for hours just to get gas, and the United States was panicking. The US soon realized what Saudi Arabia was: a powerful, sovereign nation with leverage over the United States. They knew from that point on, this fire had to be put out, or rather, this lion had to be tamed. To make a long story,
go on. Hey, I said it, right? I said, like, you know what?
Very short. The King of Saudi Arabia sold out to the United States and took a cushy deal that would guarantee security to him and his royalty, while at the same time handing over all of his people to the United States. Pretty typical of a monarchical state. The American solution to taming Saudi Arabia is what is known as the petrodollar. It's basically a system guaranteeing that all Saudi oil is sold in US dollars. It guarantees a flow and demand of US dollars around the world, placing a majority of the world's oil,
one of the biggest W's for America ever, by the way,
in the hands of the US. As part of the agreement,
they played this like a fucking masterpiece.
Saudi Arabia must also invest a significant amount of their oil profits into the American economy, along with a few other strategic advantages for the United States. And in return, the United States will guarantee the safety and survival of the Saudi monarchy.
What they're saying is, look, sell us oil and we'll pay you in yuan, the Chinese currency. And people say, well, fine, what am I going to do with the yuan?
Yeah.
I can't stuff it under a mattress. The Chinese bond market isn't that big, et cetera. And China said, well, no worries. You can sell the yuan spot for gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And oh, by the way, if you're concerned about the, say, the dollar price of gold or the euro price of gold, you can hedge that on the Shanghai Futures Exchange. So it's sort of it's straight through processing. But first you get, if you're an oil exporter, first you get the yuan, then you exchange it for gold, and then you hedge the gold in the gold futures exchange. So it's not quite as neat and tidy as a gold-backed currency, but it's an important step in that direction.
Right direction.
Most significantly, from my perspective, it takes the dollar out of the equation. This is the beginning of the end of the petrodollar system, where virtually all oil in the world is priced in dollars, which people may not like.
So them creating the petrodollar was a masterclass. That cannot be denied. But, as always, when things are too easy, you start relying on something far too much. The petrodollar scheme was so good that basically the entire American economy was propped up by it. And of course, the Saudi Arabian economy, but most importantly, the American one. A lot of people like to fuck around and be like, hey, there's so many, like, what is it, like tulip countries that like hyper focus only on one industry and don't develop their other sectors. That, usually it's correct. But the United States of America, even though it does have very developed separate sectors, even though they've fucking butchered most of them through outsourcing, they still so heavily rely on this pretty good, cushy deal that they made for themselves back in the day. And anybody questioning that deal, questioning that relationship, altering the American economy's connection to oil as a resource, can potentially create immeasurable chaos for the American state.
Like dollars, but everyone needs oil. And
So yeah, TLDR, they did something. They did imperialism. Things started going really well. They became placated and too cushy, and now if somebody pulls this chair from under them, their ass will bleed.
Now, if you need oil and you want oil, you have to have dollars. So I think it's the beginning of the end. That's starting to break down.
Yeah. Pummeling the petrodollar world, printing and limited money will be catastrophic.
Since these events, there have been a few squabbles between Saudi Arabia and the United States. I think you know what I'm talking about, even threatening to do it again quite recently. But this story of Saudi Arabia's rise makes clear an obvious pattern, and tells me everything I need to know about where they currently sit on the world stage. As mentioned earlier, China is the one to thank for this shift in power. They are the pendulum in motion. Because Saudi Arabia was powerful before, but it became infinitely more as a tool of the United States. Yet as the US loses its grips on the world as a global superpower, so does Saudi Arabia. The deal that once seemed advantageous has become a ball and chain, preventing further industrialization and further relationship building.
Ball and chain. I wish I used that metaphor.
With other countries. Recently, I've been thinking about this idea of the delayed power of oil, and in Saudi Arabia, it's acting in reverse.
President Trump just announced that he ordered a complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out of Venezuela. He also called on Venezuela to return, quote, all the oil, land, and other assets previously stolen from us.
Venezuela, a country that's been in the news quite a bit these days, has long held the record for the largest oil fields in the world. And it's given them immense power. After Hugo Chavez rose to power and nationalized the oil industry, he used those profits to industrialize his nation and uplift his people. But soon that power was stripped from them, as the United States basically made trading their oil on the world market entirely impossible. The US obviously wanted Venezuela's oil, but they couldn't get to it. It held too much power, so they nerfed it, playing the waiting game until they can.
How this video doesn't have like 300,000 views is beyond me. The YouTube algorithm is fucking dog shit, dude.
Reach this oil and acquire its powers.
This is not just reading articles. This is like applied analysis. This is so rare.
Now, that system of international bullying lasted for quite some time given the immense power the United States has held over the world. But as China continues to rise, that oil power is now being unlocked without the help or need of the United States. This is the delayed power of oil. The US once maintained the ability to bully any nation into starvation simply for not working on their exact terms. But that time has come to an end, and the US sees that. The same situation is happening in Saudi Arabia, just in reverse. The oil power that was once so prosperous, held to such a high degree thanks to the strategic backing by the US, now sits in limbo, weakening its power day by day, and thus weakening the power of the Saudi royal family. It's very clear that a shift is taking place on the world stage. And Saudi Arabia has taken note of this. As they expand their tourism, their cultural exports, or for now, imports, Saudi Arabia is not simply bolstering a few secondary industries, they're making clear a drastic shift in national identity. That which was once a powerful tool of the United States is realizing its fading power. The pendulum of the global stage is swinging in the opposite direction, and Saudi Arabia is moving with it. Thank you for watching North Star Radio and Free Palestine.
Thank you. Good video. You got the link in the description. Fucking great video. You can agree or disagree with North Star Radio's opinions, but this video is fucking great. Like, everything about this video was impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. Fucking impeccable, for real. Really good shit. Really good shit. I rarely, you ever see me react to a video like this? Very rarely. Because with all due respect, like, someone in the industry, most fucking videos are just reading articles out loud that are fucking compiled. Let's be fucking honest. Or some very cool and entertaining stuff that's like actually funny. This was applied analysis. That was good.